What else would you like for Christmas?
I'm a toy.
A toy? What kind of toy?
A reindeer.
Are you 1, 2? Oh. What kind of cookies do you like?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, Santa loves chocolate chip cookies. That's ice skates?
Yeah.
Are you going to learn to ice skate?
Yeah.
Wow, that'll really be fun, huh? What's his name?
I wouldn't say hi to some of these people.
Yeah, I understand.
They're doing their filming over at the Central Grill.
Yeah, that's what they decided to do. Originally, they were talking about... Everyone seems to be concerned about turf protection. We have to protect our own turf. We don't want anybody to know, let anybody else know what we're doing. We're going to do it on our own, and I think that those barriers have to come down.
So it's possible that somebody could get into a basement and get disoriented.
At this point, our investigation is suspended. The medical examiner has determined that she died of exposure or hypothermia.
We were discussing hypothermia. Okay. Disorientation, lay down, and just die. Yep, so.
Checking, because it does kind of make you wonder.
It is a good training race for the Bear Grease, being only 1 week past
assist us now. A lot of the teams will stay in the area here and train on the local trails in Wisconsin and in Minnesota, and then, of course, go to the other races in the circuit.
It's not exactly hooray for Hollywood, but the people trying out for the movie Iron Will knew they'd better be in character to impress the likes of these folks. Still, with the line snaking around the corners and into the parking lot, they did have quite some time to prepare their act. For some, getting dressed to come in was a bigger ordeal than the audition itself.
They took a while. I couldn't get all the buttons because it hurts the fingers a lot. You have to yank the fabric over. And so I kind of did every other button. I figured, well, then I'll be strapped into these for life, so I didn't want to do that.
It's just an experience that you can say, well, I did this, and share it with other people who, didn't get the opportunity to do it.
And that's exactly what the production company is looking for this epic story based on a 1917 dog sled race from Winnipeg to St. Paul.
So I'm looking for hardy individuals, and I'm looking for people that would just get a kick out of doing something like this.
One person who's already getting a kick out of the movie is star Mackenzie Aston.
To not have a good time while I'm up here would just be absurd, to find problems or complaints or anything like that would be a waste of my time, because everything, everything's been perfect. I was up a couple weeks ago learning how to mush dogs and to run a dog sled, and that's what are the chances of just some young guy from LA, all of a sudden out in the woods with a bunch of dogs in front of him? It's fantastic.
Stay tuned. Iron Will and its cast of thousands could soon be coming to a site location near you. In Duluth, Heather Filkins, News 6.
And the City Council very actively took their role in the process. The public took their role as they should and gave input.
Input was the focus of Doty's inaugural speech last January. One project that did not come through last year was the return of the Incline Railroad, but Doty says the public input was necessary to make a decision.
I says there's nothing wrong with a citizens committee saying it can't be done and we can't afford it, as long as all the information was provided, and it worked extremely well. Those people worked very hard and they said it can't be done, we can't afford to do it, and I can accept that.
Unemployment continues to rise in the city and the Northwest Airlines project continues to stagnate, but Doty is optimistic about economic development in the future.
You'll continue to see us moving ahead. You'll continue to see us pursuing economic development, pursuing tourism, making some of the things that I'm going to announce tonight, I think, are forward-looking programs, and I'm excited about 93.
The new federal regulation will be enforced by the state. It calls for pharmacists to counsel many patients who buy drugs before filling their prescriptions. The rule really applies only to Medicaid patients, but most druggists feel it's a good rule of thumb for dealing with all their clients.
To have better screening at the pharmacy level, consultation, patient consultation at the pharmacy level, and so people understand their medications better, use their medications better, and cut down on some adverse effects, of course.
When a Medicaid patient comes in to have a prescription filled, a pharmacist is now required to keep a record of name, age, and address, plus gather pertinent information regarding ailments the person may have and other medications he or she may be taking. The pharmacist must then enter that information into a computer that will spell out any contraindications or dangerous interactions for the drugs that person is taking. The druggist will also ask if the person has any allergies and counsel on the dangers of certain drugs for that person's condition. While the pharmacist has to counsel patients, people don't have to take the advice given, though most indicate it is a good idea.
Well, you never know. I mean, you can go get different drugs too, you know, so, and then you don't know if you're getting the right drugs either.
So this is a good thing.
I think it is.
Some druggists have opposed the new regulation because it will be expensive and time taken. But most feel the direction of this legislation is good because it uses a pharmacist's skills and knowledge, enhances a patient's safety, and could end up saving money in the Medicaid system by reducing bad reactions to drugs and unnecessary or duplicated medications. In Duluth, Barbara Riles, News 6.
In the landfill and consider use or the landfill at Hibbing. We do not use it as
This is just how it is this year. We're going to have to charge everybody the same thing to make it easier. And that just doesn't make sense. We've got a lot of small businesses here in Virginia, and for all of us to be charged $204 is absolutely ridiculous.
Come on, Ed, bend those knees.
Carl Kubley could just as easily buy ice when he needs it come summertime, but after 70-some years, why break with tradition?
This ice house was built in the early 20s, right after 1920, 1921. So it's been done ever since that time. Right now it's mostly tradition. I could buy ice for my coolers in the boat and forget about this. These guys like the outing. I think. They keep coming back.
And so what used to be a 3 to 4 day job for Carl and his father is now a 3 to 4 hour celebration of family and friends on Torrey Lake once a year.
How's that crew doing out there, Denny?
I can't saw with it.
No, I see it.
It's just a ritual. Everybody gets together after the holidays to see each other. You haven't seen one another for a year. And when they come up for the holidays, you kind of look forward to, touching base with them and seeing how they're doing and how their families are. And just a ritual get together,
One thing about being a rookie when it comes to ice cutting is you got to learn these terms quickly, like rotate.
We try to keep like 3 people on a saw, 3-4 people on a saw, and that way everybody gets a chance to do it. And keeps the people with crooked eyes, just not quite cutting so many crooked blocks yet.
It's nice cold ice. It's 20 below down here last night. Ice is very brittle. You can't bang them around. They'll break on you.
So just like his father before him, Carl gently packs the blocks tightly together inside the ice house, while the rest of the crew stays busy outside cutting the blocks.
It's the home stretch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes! We have victory.
Now we don't give them a hard time over
in the ice house because we're done. We can go harass them for a little bit.
This is beautiful ice. Best ice for, I would say, 6 or 7 years. It's really solid. And a couple of weeks ago, there wasn't any. It was still too warm. But now we got nice ice.
Oh, yeah. And once it's packed under a couple of feet of cedar sawdust, it'll last close to 2 years in Kubley's ice house.
Okay, they call lunch. We'll get out of here.
Near Glidden, Wisconsin, I'm Mike Birkeland, outdoors in the Northland.
Well, there are 13 categories of awards, ranging all the way from the nicest horses, small horses, big horses, middle size, the best restoration of vehicles, and also costumes. So there'll be a lot of people there with raccoon coats and their lap robes and all the rest of the antique kind of things to emphasize the old one-horse sleigh kind of era.
Right. This is cute. It's mine. Thank you.
Actually, all the ones that said I was there are all gone.
Says I was 40.
You just got rich.
Thank you.
Got 10.
All right.
There's your phone.
Thank
You want to stamp?
Yeah.
You either believe that this is wrong or you don't. I don't believe that there's any gray. And I think that it's hard for some people to understand where I'm coming from because not everyone is someone that's been aborted. But not
in a really special position to be able to influence this case because many of the fundamentalist Muslims in this area have decided these foreign aid through the House Appropriations Committee. And so visiting with our... either we try to remain endeared to the Muslims or at least tolerated by the Muslims, the fundamentalist Muslims, or else we stand up for basic human rights. And if we decide to go the route of toleration by the Muslims, it literally could cost hundreds of thousands of lives.
It's something different. It's not an everyday thing. Not everybody gets to see all these people and meet all these people. And
The Duluth School Board has had a history of conflict. The issues facing the district have torn the community apart in many ways, but much of that conflict could come to an end as the district adopts its long-range strategic plan.
Anticipate by the end of this year we will be stable. It doesn't mean we're not going to have hard times. We're still going to have some tough decisions to make, but it's much easier to make a decision, no matter how hard or how bad that decision might be, when you've got all the proper information to make the decision, than to be taking shots in the dark trying to figure out what's going on.
The strategic plan covers everything from the district's finances to curriculum to the often controversial facility decisions. 5 schools are slated to be closed under the plan, including Lakeside, Kenwood, Merritt, Washburn, and Cobb schools. A complex system of redistributing students within the district would follow. But unlike previous facility disputes, the new plan looks at a bigger picture.
We think that the plan is brought together, it's been massaged enough, it's been updated enough, to the point now that the board really can approve those activities that we have in the plan to bring this into reality, to start getting it implemented.
That implementation will take time, including public meetings for each school closing and more specific budget debates over the 1994 budget. But the advantage, say board members, is that the Duluth school system can put aside old conflicts and move ahead.
It's not just a style change, it's a substance change in the district. And as soon as we can put all these facilities problems behind us, we can get onto some kind of a vision, and a vision that's developed by the superintendent, the board, and the community.
In Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.